What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Dawgs and Hawgs. I'm your host, Bobby Andrews. We've got, as always, Russ Tanner. Russ, we've got a special guest on today, former Georgia Bulldog and creator and owner of DGD Outdoors. We've got Cade Brock with us today. Cade, thanks for coming on. Appreciate
thanks for having me. I'm stoked to be here.
Yeah.
You sound excited. You sound stoked.
I'm pretty excited.
Is that your turkey hunting voice or something?
Yeah, it's my turkey hunting voice. I told you I don't like how I sound on the microphone because I sound like a raging redneck, so I try to tone it down.
Well, the good news is you're on the show with me talking with you as well. So
yeah, I guess that ought to help me out.
Yeah, that helps. So yeah, Cade's a buddy. We got to be friends over the last couple of years, and played tight end at UGA, two-time national champ. Had him on. We've talked a good bit about some hunting stuff and DGD, and had the opportunity to bring him on tonight, talk about what he's doing now, time on the team, and all that. So yeah, man, we're excited you're here, brother. Appreciate you making time to come and jump on with us.
Oh shoot, like I said, I'm super excited to be here, and appreciate our friendship and relationship we've made. So
I asked Cade, would he be on? He's like, "You gonna feed me barbecue?"
Yeah, I said, "Are we gonna have barbecue there or not?"
Yeah. Oh,
pretty good incentive.
It is. I've got yet to try your barbecue, so
it's coming.
Every time I open Instagram, I see you eating barbecue. It makes me want some barbecue.
Well, we can work something out, man. Every Friday we go and eat somewhere. So yeah, it's a good time, man.
Yeah.
It's
It kind of inspired me, actually. I got to tell this story. Me and my buddy Will Snellins, we were going to Arkansas to go duck hunting, and on the way we were coming through Tupelo, Mississippi. I was like, dude, let's find the most backwoods barbecue spot.
You find one?
Yeah, we found one, and then we got stuck in the driveway of the barbecue spot because it has, after that big blizzard and everything came through, everything was frozen solid. And we made it all the way to Tupelo, Mississippi without knowing the four-wheel drive was out in Will's truck. So we got stuck in the parking lot and they had to bump us out. But we made it.
So what's the barbecue?
It was awesome.
You remember the place?
No, I don't remember the name of it. But it was an old guy and his wife were the only people working there.
That was it.
And I got barbecue nachos. They were fire. They were amazing. They're pretty good.
If you're willing, I'm sliding out of the thing over here, leaning against you. If you're willing to go off the beaten path and get stuck, that's a good rule of thumb. There's a lot of rules of thumb barbecue, but if you have to get stuck in the driveway of where you're going to eat, you're probably in a good spot.
Yeah, well, to be fair, the four-wheel drive was out and we didn't know until it was time to get out of the parking lot. But
we're gonna talk some barbecue tonight. We're gonna talk about DGD Outdoors. I'm repping the shirt. Cade's repping the gear.
You can get it online.
Yeah, that's what Robbie's got up there. I think he's showing that.
Oh yeah, I see. Yeah,
we'll link up there. So want to hear something about that. And obviously, man, you're coming off of just an unbelievable run at your time at UGA. You couldn't have picked a better time to be a part of a team. Man, so we're gonna look forward to getting into some of that with you tonight. So
absolutely. Thanks everyone for tuning in once again on Dawgs and Hawgs. Be sure to leave comments, ask some questions. We'll get to them as soon as we can. If you got any questions for Cade or for us, be sure to hit the like button. Subscribe, retweet, do your thing. But I think first things first. We've heard a little bit of rumblings around Del McGee and potentially Brian McClendon and stuff like this going to be potentially the next head coach of Georgia State. We talked about it a little bit before we started the show. Cade, you were talking about Del, and you've been around him a little bit.
Yeah.
He wasn't your coach in particular, but let's talk about Del McGee a little bit.
It's okay, and just so everybody knows, tell them kind of your background with the team, so they know your credentials. I
was a preferred walk-on. Didn't play much. Didn't get a whole lot of field time. I got to play against Florida State because that was
that's a pretty big one to get in on.
Yeah, but didn't get to play much. But my first 2 years, I played on the defensive side of the ball. I was playing at linebacker, and then I transitioned over to play, I guess, what would be tight end, but technically it was really just scout team fullback. I just kind of got my head beat in, but it was fun, and I made a lot of good relationships there. And just speaking on Coach McGee, like we were saying before the show, he's just, he never coached me personally, but I kind of got to watch him work with some of the guys that I was around and in the locker room. And he's got a pretty proven track record. We've had some of the best running backs come out of Georgia, and he's been the coach for a while. And I felt like he was super involved, like we were talking about before. Obviously there's levels to it, and other people on the team may know more about it than I do, but I feel like he was pretty involved in the offense, and they definitely got his opinion on things and stuff. Yeah. So I feel like he's a great coach, and always a good leader. And
So
sometimes
you're a fan of Coach McGee?
yeah.
That's awesome.
He's a good dude. You know, always showed up to work every day. But and like a lot of times when Coach Smart would have to like step away or be away for a day, especially I want to say my first 2 years, maybe the third and fourth year too as well. But like a lot of times when Coach Smart would step away or couldn't be there for a day, Coach McGee would kind of be the one to fill in and kind of, you know, keep things going without missing a beat. So yeah, utmost respect to Coach McGee.
You know, you see sometimes like when these guys get these different titles given to them, associate head coach, co-offense coordinator, all this stuff.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of times from the outside looking in, the assumption is that it's a way to pay them more, right?
Right.
And it probably is. That's probably a part of it. But hearing you talk a little bit, it sounds like Coach McGee, that associate head coach, was a role he actually filled some.
Yeah. There's all kinds of different titles and levels to it, like you're saying. But I think whether it's to pay them more or whatever it may be, I think when it comes to decision making and stuff like that, it's more inclusive maybe than people realize from the outside looking in. You know, like we have say we have a bad offensive game and people want to blame it on Bobo, or if we have a good offensive game, like, oh, Bobo called great plays.
Yeah.
But in reality, you know, it's not solo dolo Coach Bobo up there by himself. You know,
solo dolo.
Yeah, he's not like, you know, I mean, he's got the input of everybody. And before the game, you know, leading up to the game, they're asking other coaches and stuff, what plays do y'all feel comfortable with? What do y'all think we should run here? What do we should do here? And from the way I understood it, every coach has their input of, hey, I think we ought to do this in this situation. We ought to do that. And they all kind of vote about it. And I'm sure some of them get tossed and some of them they roll with. But yeah, I mean, regardless of the titles and stuff, I think it really is a team effort amongst the coaching staff to kind of come together and decide on what's best.
Did that change with the transition from Monken to Bobo at all, or is it still pretty similar?
No, not that I saw, you know. Like, again, now if you were to go ask Carson or Stetson or one of them, they might have a total different outlook on it. But from just being a fly on the wall, no, I mean, all the coaches have always been super involved my whole time being there. I mean, there's certain coaches, you know, Coach Bobo definitely is the leader on it, but like everyone's opinion is valued and you know, taken into account from at least what I've seen.
Yeah. I think it's interesting here you talk about guys like Coach McGee, Dale McGee, who apparently Bruce Feldman and some other folks have been tweeting about. He's one of the candidates for the Georgia State job. I hope he gets it. I mean, well deserved. Coach McGee had a great track record as a high school football coach in Georgia.
Yeah, that's right. I didn't even know that until
Carver. I think it was Carver. Hopefully, I'm not butchering that. Down in Columbus, Georgia, and has been here and he's recruiting at the highest level. I mean, who are the running backs? Let's say the running backs that Coach McGee's had, right?
I mean,
I guess he was there for Gurley.
Yeah.
Was he there for Gurley?
I can't remember. I'm not sure. I wasn't there. So
this is where I need Roddy talking to it.
So Chubb, Michelle,
Sony, DeAndre Swift,
Zamir White.
I mean, I can just name the ones.
Zamir White,
just
James
the ones
Cook.
that I played with.
Yeah,
I mean, you got Zamir, Kenny Mack, James Cook. I mean, that was, let's say, who was there the first year I got there? Was it Zamir?
Probably.
Yeah, Zamir must have been the back when I first got there. But then you got guys now like
Branson Robinson.
Dejon, Kendall, Branson. They say I
recruited Rod Robinson.
Yeah, Rod.
Yeah.
I mean, there's
Travis Etienne coming
and
in.
I haven't met him yet, but you know, hanging out with all the guys and doing some hunting and stuff like that. They've been talking about him. Apparently, he's a real deal and he's a baller. But I hadn't met him. They all said he's a cool dude and fitted right in. But
so if your role got bumped from scout team to first team, and you had to block for one running back you played for,
I don't know.
Who you picking, man? Who you picking? Who's your horse?
I don't know. I mean, that's too hard to say. I'm not going to say that. I got a different relationship with a lot of those guys than, you know, and strangely enough, I might be, you know, one of the only ones on the team. I have a relationship with those guys that's maybe even more off the field than on the field. Like, I mean, I couldn't never say that. I'm boys with Kendall and
they're all your boys.
Yeah, like I love all of them. So I couldn't never, you know, they're all the greatest backs in the country in my eyes. So it's kind of like cheering for your buddy or something like that. So it's kind of like being buddies with lads. Can't really. It's hard for me to hear that anyone else is a better receiver coming out of the draft than him. But it's like, well, I'm a little biased. So.
And I get that some. You know, like Pollock was. I don't know if you know this, but me and Pollock were roommates at Georgia.
Right. I remember you telling me.
You know, we were boys from high school. We started going on recruit trips together, 10th, 11th grade, and then basically decided we were going to go, go to school together.
Right.
So when we went to UGA, I was obviously his roommate, and I watched him up close and personal for 4 years, 3-time All-American, all that. So for me, whenever people talk about the GOATs of Georgia football, the greatest defensive players in the history of Georgia football, you can argue, man, there's people from the 70s and 80s that throw out great names, by the way. And I'm not knocking these guys. They start talking Jake Scott. I mean, they name other guys from the 90s and maybe the later part of 2000s. Some people will say Roquan, Jarvis Jones.
Jarvis.
I understand if you watch football during that time, that's where you think. But if you go back and watch just a purely disruptive player who was a dude, you're not going to tell me that anybody was a better football player than David Pollock was for University of Georgia defense side of the ball. So it's the same thing you're saying, right?
Yeah, I see that, and I think I was just a little bit too young, or maybe you're a little bit too old. But whenever when I was around watching, I mean, but in the way Dad tells it and the way everyone else tells it, he was a dog. So
Pollock,
oh yeah,
still is,
yeah.
Anyways, you are, the creator of DGD Outdoors, a pretty beloved brand, I guess, around, the Southeast, really.
Still trying to grow it.
Yeah, of course. There you go, Russ.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Cade hooks it up. I don't know if it's the policy, but he said that former players get free gear. So he sent me a couple of shirts and stuff like that. So
former player, reach out, get some, as long as you promote it. Russ here's got it on. So
what was the inspiration for, I think I've heard you tell the story before, but what's been the inspiration behind DGD Outdoors? Like, why'd you want to create something like this for, yourself and for fellow players and stuff like that?
I think, originally it just stemmed from when I first got here to Athens and didn't have anywhere to hunt or didn't have anywhere to fish. And I was kind of like, I grew up just, if I wanted to go fishing, I could literally walk out of my back door and go fishing.
Where'd you grow
up? In Northwest Georgia, a little bitty town called Subligna. But it's Rome, Georgia, I guess, would be the most the closest proximity to civilization, we call it. But I grew up, being able to walk out of my back door and go fishing or go hunting. And I feel like, honestly, looking back on it, I feel like I took that for granted. And I don't know if it's just from where I grew up. A lot of my friends grew up that way too, being able to just, so I kind of took that for granted. And when I got here to Athens, I was kind of like, oh crap, okay, well, now when I'm not playing football, now what do I do? Well, I fish and I hunt, but I don't have anywhere to go. So it kind of just originally stemmed from that, just trying to find places to go. And then, like we were talking about, I got a great relationship with these guys just off the field. So, it was just as purely as like, hey, I got a spot to go fishing. You want to go fishing?
Yeah.
And we went and, it 2 or 3 times we'd be like, hey, man, I've never even been fishing before. And it's like, oh, awesome, let's do it. And then we would go and they would get eat up with it just like I was. And for too much longer, they're coming back, hey, man, when can we go fishing?
How about Roddy? Roddy's popping some stuff on the screen for us. Tell us. These are like the no context pictures. Tell us what we got going.
So we weren't even
that's Tate Ratledge.
Yeah, that's Tate. That's my buddy Tate. We weren't even actually pig hunting, to tell you the truth. So we were deer hunting, and the dude's place that we were hunting on. Look at that little meme right there in this. I just saw that. The dude riding the pig. Look. We were hunting at this dude's place, and he's like, yeah, I got a terrible pig problem on this one food plot. He keeps coming through and just destroying it and stuff. And it was actually a little pack of them. He said he's hunted there 2 or 3 times and had never seen pigs. And then Tate goes out there and sits in like 5 minutes in the stand. He texts me, yeah, I see pigs in front of me. And then like, oh, yeah, there's a big one in front of me. I'm like, shoot it. Shoot that thing. He shoots it and says it runs off out of the food plot. And he's like, man, I don't know if, I think I hit it, but you can tell it was a perfect shot. I hit it right behind the shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
But he's like, I think I hit it. I'm just not sure where it went. And we actually had Dom Love it with us. He was sitting with me that night.
Had Dom Love it ever been hunted this morning?
No.
First time.
Yeah,
first time. The best part of all these things.
First time
hunters.
Yeah, first time hunting, first time out there. I mean, he's just like wide-eyed the whole time, just like, man.
Did you camo him up and everything?
Oh yeah, we had him decked out, and he was loving it. We were seeing deer from.
Did you give him a gun?
Oh, I was holding the gun, of course. But we're seeing deer from super far away, and they're like 600-700 yards away, and he doesn't, he's never done it before. So he's like, why aren't we shooting those? I'm like, that's not really how it works. He's like, oh, can't we get out of the deer stand and just walk over there and shoot them? I'm like, not really. That's not really how it works. And then to make matters worse, we were hearing Tate's gunshots shooting those pigs, and he was just sitting there like not shooting anything. So he was like, what, what's going on? But anyways, after he had got the pig down, we started looking for it. Like pigs do most time, they can go forever. It don't matter how perfect of a shot you put on them, but it ran probably, 200 yards up into the woods in just the thickest, nastiest, most briar-driven pine patch of just crap ever. And the tree limbs are hanging like, I don't know, a foot or two off the ground. So we're literally crawling on our hands and knees into where this blood trail to this pig goes. And we're crawling through the woods on our knees. And about halfway, Tate looks back at me and is like, I just realized we're crawling towards this thing in the woods. I'm like, yeah, well, we're almost there. So let's keep going. And eventually we walked up to it. And
but if you were a pig and you saw that dude with no shirt,
crawling
towards
with
you,
a headlamp on, and all you can see is just a flash of light coming through the woods. Yeah. I mean,
that's awesome.
Tate looks like he could be related to that thing. Just playing. That's
Roddy, give us another one, Roddy. I like this. I like Cade telling us what the hunt was and who the guys were.
But no, like, just back to how it stemmed. Just trying to find hunting land, and then just taking my buddies hunting, just like you seen there in Tate and Ladd, and I guess over time, these guys, individuals following, growing and stuff, when they would repost the stuff, it would kind of get some traction. I'm like, we should do something with this. So we started the first side we started it wasn't a nonprofit when we started it, but the idea from what it stemmed from is now the same basis for the nonprofit. Just introducing any student athletes at the University of Georgia to the outdoors, whether it's fishing, hunting, hiking, anything to get them outside. And then we also are pretty fortunate enough to have a relationship with Downtown Ministries. I'm not sure if you've heard of them.
Oh, yeah.
So just an unbelievable organization. They actually started as a youth football team 25 years ago, and now they've got it developed all the way through like a small setting, classroom, kindergarten through 5th grade, inner city school. And we partnered with them, and sometimes we'll just take the kids out fishing with the players. That's and that sort of thing. And yeah, it's just amazing. I mean, that was something that I never even really, originally thought of, and now it's gotten to that point. It's like, man, this is so cool. It's come full circle.
When you get a chance to use things that you're passionate about to light a fire in somebody else's life, or to give them a little bit of a ray of sunshine, a little bit of hope for something, like, that's cool.
That's right.
So I think it's a great platform you're using, man.
Yeah, and like you're saying, something that you're passionate about. Like, I mean, I'm more passionate about hunting and fishing than I am football by a long shot. So like, and you don't. It's hard to understand if you don't hunt or if you don't fish. But like, it's awesome to it's awesome to be chasing a certain deer and go after him and get your big trophy buck of the year or whatever. But there's nothing like being with somebody and showing them and getting to witness them doing it for the first time, and like watch the fire get lit underneath them and kind of be like, oh gosh, I love this. Like, this is what I'm about now. And I tell stories all the time about Marcus Roseman. He grew up in, like, with the way he tells it, he had like water out of his back door in the canal, but he just never had been fishing down there in Miami. And we came up here and we go fishing. We don't have a great day. We catch 1 or 2 fish or whatever. But the next day he comes back to my locker room. He's like, dude, I stayed up until like 2 a.m. last night on YouTube watching fishing videos. And I'm like, all right, see, like, that's,
you're lighting the fire.
We got to do something with that, because that's what I do. So I'm like, you shouldn't be doing that. Like, we got to do something with this now. So, and it's just led to all that kind of stuff and getting to introduce these guys. I mean, it's been awesome for me.
Yeah. Who's that on the screen now?
That's CJ.
CJ Allen.
Yeah. No, not CJ Allen.
Oh.
That's
C.A. Smith.
Yeah. So he just transferred to Purdue.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Yeah. I remember
that joker's fast.
CJ. Said he run that deer down.
Yeah, he ran down to the pocket knife.
That's awesome.
I got a pretty good relationship with Tate. I produced the podcast with them over there. I've heard some of these stories before, but I think we had Kendall Milton on the podcast, I think, this past year, and that was so funny listening to him talk about his experience with you, kind of reminisce upon like that time taking K-Mill out there. And
Kendall's was a cool hunt.
Yeah, I mean, he was wearing what, Travis Scott, like $2,000 pair of shoes.
I wasn't even aware of that until like somebody had. I mean, we hop out of the truck and you got these sneakers on, and I'm like, I got muck boots for you if you want to wear them. And he's like, no, it's cool. And it's not too muddy, so it shouldn't be no big deal. We're just gonna walk the deer stand anyways. I mean, we're only walking 150, 200 yards, and I didn't think anything of it. And then after we posted the videos and the pictures and stuff, I see people on there commenting about his shoes and stuff. And I texted and I was like, dude, how much are them tennis shoes worth that you was wearing? And they're like covered in red clay. And I'm like, dude, how much those tennis shoes you got on worth? And he's like, and obviously I could tell by the way his expression, they were expensive. And I was like, I mean, I didn't even say anything about it, but yeah, I didn't realize that was kind of a subtle flex he had in there in the picture that I wasn't even aware of. But I did offer him muck boots. So
that's
but
funny.
he turned them
What
down.
didn't he kill?
Yeah, he
a
did.
few deer.
Yeah, his hunt was crazy because we're actually at that same farm where Tate killed that pig, and the videos, you know, obviously you edit it for social media. The video looks like he just snipes 3 deer back to back to back, but in reality, that's not how it happens. You know, we were out there but the first deer did come out after 10, 15 minutes and he killed it. And then another one came rolling out and he killed it. Cause the guy's farm or hunting on, he actually has a permit he's got way too many deer on his farm and it's an actual farm and they eat his crops and all that stuff. So he's got an unlimited amount of tags out there especially for doe. So when they kept pouring out, you know, after seeing Kendall's face light up the first time, I'm like, all right, go for it again if you want. And he was laying them down like he was a professional or something. So
Have you got those guys to eat the meat?
Oh yeah. That's the rule. I mean, you don't get to kill it unless you eat it. Yeah.
I'm in that camp. I'm just making sure.
Yeah, you got to eat it. Yeah, there's no killing without using it. And I try not only for I always take the meat and disperse it back to whether it's friends, family, those guys, whoever it is. It always gets eaten, but I try to make it a point to whoever takes the animal. They need to be eating the meat. They need to learn how to cook it, how to prepare it.
So what was like one of the maybe early on hunts you took one of these guys on where it really the light of that passion of exposing somebody else to the outdoors, maybe that hadn't been there, had very little experience. Like who's one of those guys you took out like, man, that was cool.
That Marcus story really sticks out. Oh, that's a cool story down there with Trayvon. I think you can see Trayvon down there. This is
bottom right.
Yeah, bottom right there in the bucket hat. Yeah,
gray shirt.
Yeah, gray shirt. Click on that one and go over one picture where he's holding all his big fish. Keep going more. Yeah, there you go. So that was a pretty cool experience. I mean, I was this is
Trayvon Walker.
This just speaks to what kind of
first round draft.
Yeah, this just speaks to what kind of person though Trayvon is. I mean, I was a freshman at that time. He's a junior, or he's Trayvon Walker or whatever. So I mean, I walk in. When I first walked on, I was actually in the defensive line room for just a little bit. And when I was in there, like obviously way out of place. Like but I mean, like you would never know it. Like he never skipped a beat. You know what I mean? And he that's my dog. He so this is like 2 or 3 days after he had got drafted. He had come back to Athens, and I don't know if it's just the media frenzy or whatever that was surrounding him, but he's just like, hey man, you want to go fishing? I'm like, of course, dude, let's go. And we went, and it ended up being a great day, and he wore them out. But
it's funny to me how people think they get a perception in their mind, right, of what all these guys are like.
Yeah.
Whether it be Trayvon, whether it be Ladd, whether it be David Green, David Pollock, they get all these huge like grandiose ideas about what they're like. Man, I bet they're a jerk. I bet they're awesome. I bet they're this. I bet they're that. Yeah. At the end of the day,
they're just normal. Like they're just the most normal dudes. Like I try to stress that to everybody. And I would say after we go to these places to hunt, and these Georgia are not really fans, but like these people who've just been observing from the outside looking in for such a long time, kind of get to meet the guys. Every one of them have the same reaction. Like, wow, like. That's like
do you know our buddy Ryan? Right?
Yeah, Ryan. That's my guy. Ryan has been a huge help for us too. I mean, he's connected me to 2 or 3 different people that's really helped give us a swift kick on the business side of things and just connections in general. I mean, yeah, Ryan's my dog. He's a good dude.
Yeah, Ryan is I've got a special place in my heart. People like Ryan hog hunting because I grew up. Like my uncle Rocky, if you go to Wrightsville, Georgia, Rocky's a legend. And Rocky's a hog hunter.
Yeah.
But he never killed them.
With the dogs, he'd catch them time.
Caught them, tied them up, put them on foot, and carried them out.
Yeah.
He says a wildlife relocation specialist.
Yeah.
I think the rules have changed. They're having to kill more and more of them these days because of some of the wild hog stuff. So, yeah, it's really cool, man. It really is. And I think it's cool. Like, guys like Trayvon, I mean, he's from South Georgia. I bet he'd been fishing before. In his life.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's what's cool is like, you would never think that of somebody who, is the first draft pick. You would never think that might be like an outlet of, I don't know, relaxation like for the same way. For the same, like for how it is for most people. And, after he's got the craziest thing that, could happen to him, happening to him, he's like, hey, dude, let's go fishing. Like, if that's not the most
release.
Yeah, if that's not like the most normal answer,
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Sorry, Bob. I've asked him a ton of questions.
No,
right?
you're fine. I mean, this is great. This is great stuff. So, I mean, I kind of want to keep on tabs with this. I mean,
what's the hunt you would repeat with the guys on it and what y'all did? Like looking back over your time, because like our audience who's listening tonight, they love to hear the stories, and I love to hear the stories. By the way, I'm putting on the audience, but really, I like to hear them of like some of the guys that we know.
I love telling them. There's nothing better than telling a good old fashioned hunting story.
Yeah, so tall tale. Give us a good one, man. Give us a good one then.
Give us like a a Brock Bowers or Lad McConkey
right?
or
Lad. Well, I mean, Lad doesn't. I mean, Lad's a little different because he was my roommate for 3 years, the last 3 years of school. So, I mean, me and him went fishing and hunting all the time.
Yeah.
Like, I got all kinds of stories of Lad. I mean, look how much I've used him on my Instagram. Like he's on there 2 or 3 times. I've actually had people reach out to me and be like, "Hey, is this Lad? Like, is this the Lad's company that you're a part of?"
I may need to give you some pointers.
I'm like,
yes,
it is.
I may need to give you some pointers about how to pimp your roommate who's a first round pick.
No, he's a good
like. But I got a podcast.
He has his own jacket too, right?
Yeah, he's got his own. But like that just speaks like volumes to what kind of like he's never asked me for anything. I mean, he's getting crazy deals to do stuff for these certain companies that he's doing that sort of thing for, and he's never asked me for anything. He's never come, what I mean? I'm like, hey, throw this on, let me take a picture of it. He's cool, let's do it.
Yeah.
And in today's world, I feel like it wouldn't be too far-fetched for someone to be like, no, man. You're going to, yeah. And which, I'd be more than happy to give to him, but he's like, just never, I mean, he's just speaks to what kind of dude and what kind of friend he is. I mean, yeah, he's going to go a long way.
So where you thinking my man's gonna get drafted?
Oh, I don't know.
What's
I've been talking to him.
Process right now.
Talking to him a little bit.
Because he's a little worried going in. Not Lad. I don't know Lad person, so I say he's worried. But he's coming off injuries, right? He's coming off of some back stuff. Super productive when he's on the field. You can't deny any of that.
Yeah,
but I mean, how does he deal with like going to the combine and all that? Because it's pressure. It's a lot of pressure.
I mean, it's pressure, but like I don't know if anybody has handled pressure as good as him from being here and real. I mean, pressure. There's kind of 2 aspects to it: being under, like how you perform being under all the pressure in the world, and kind of how you perform being under no pressure. And when he first got here, there was real, there wasn't no real pressure for him to be a star right off. Yeah, and to be able to perform that, like in that setting, and then be able to perform equally, if not better, as good being under pressure constantly. I mean, I don't feel like the pressure thing is going to be anything to him. I think.
Is he the same way hunting and fishing, or does he get jittery?
Oh no, he gets a little jittery. Yeah, he gets a little jittery. Yeah, hunting's like he's got a little. Lad's missed a few deer, but I'm not gonna out him like that.
You just outed him. You just outed him.
He's missed a few, but I've missed a few too. I just missed a coyote recently, so it happens. But that's the only thing I've ever seen rattle him. Maybe.
Yeah. How was Brock hunting? Brock Bowers.
I mean, I don't know if he does a lot of duck hunting and stuff too, but he was always with Vandergrift. Vandergrift's like he was like boy wonder around here when it came to hunting land. I mean, I just from being around here and, he definitely had the hookups. He always had the hookups. And I think him and Brock lived together. So if there was ever going hunting, I think he just kind of tagged along with him. But, no, Brock is my guy too. I think he's a big duck hunter. He loves the duck hunt and stuff. He's a great dude. I was in the same room with him for 2 years maybe.
Do you have any camo stuff that fits some Maris Mims?
Yeah, I got it all. So luckily we got hooked up with Realtree, and I told him, I was like, I need a few larges to fit normal size people, and then everything else I need the biggest size of everything you have. And I got like a box of camo overalls that are all like 3X plus.
Is Mims the biggest dude you ever taken hunting?
I hadn't taken Mims. I
really? I thought I saw him on some of the stuff.
I don't think I've taken Mims. I'm trying to think. I've almost taken everybody. I really don't. I was
about to say I've seen just about everybody.
I've taken it. I mean,
you taking some recruits?
Yeah, I've taken some recruits. I've done that, and I would certainly love to get that aspect of it worked into it. Right now, I'm just trying to focus on expanding the brand side of it and getting it in more and more retail stores and online sales and that kind of thing too, separate from the nonprofit of just taking the guys out. But I don't know if you can. There's a picture on there of me and Big Mike in like a tiny little boat. I don't know if Big Mike's the biggest dude.
Who is Mike?
Michael Morris.
Okay.
I don't know if he's the biggest dude that's went, but that's a pretty funny picture of me and him in like a toddler's boat. He's like, but I don't know. I've taken some. I mean, Tate's a pretty big dude.
A big boy.
I mean, all them dudes, but compared to me, they're all ginormous.
So we had a question on the pod on here a couple weeks ago. Would you have a better chance of guarding Ladd McConkey in a one-on-one situation, or
locking him up,
or getting past Maris Mims?
Me personally, both of them are probably an unfeasible task, but I don't know. You know, I've seen Mims lock up some dudes, and I've seen Ladd, you know, cook some dudes. So it's kind of hard to say. I mean, I don't know. I'd probably just go with locking Ladd up, because I wouldn't want to have to deal with the consequences of seeing Mims later and me saying I could get past him.
Yeah.
But if Ladd routes me up one time, it's not the end of the world.
That's good. So we'll transition, and I always try when we have guys that former players on here, I try to be really respectful of private conversations that have been had and all that, and you know how to handle these. But I know you and I, we talked some last year. I think you were at one point considering, you know, like a lot of guys in your situation who walked on, who've done a lot of grinding for the program. It's a hard thing to keep going.
Yeah, no doubt.
But talk about the conversation, kind of not there was one specific, but just the conversations with Kirby and some of the staff, talking to you and come back for another year and being a part of what you were doing, and through the DGD stuff and some NIL opportunities. Was that ever part of a conversation you had?
Never.
Really?
Mm-mm.
What about, are you doing any NIL stuff through DGD?
Mm-mm. It's all DGD's an LLC. It's a regular business like anybody else's business.
So now you need to NIL the dudes.
Mm-hmm, that's right. Yeah. I'd love to get to that point, but we need a little more capital in today's world.
More capital.
These NIL deals going around.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying though. Like, think about like how big of an advantage that is to have friends like Tate and Ladd and those guys who are getting paid bukus of money to do that kind of stuff and are willing to just be like, yeah, man, I'll throw a t-shirt on.
Yeah.
I mean, just like, again, speaks volumes of what kind of people they are. But no, there was never any of that talk for me. No NIL talk or nothing like that.
Well, I wasn't saying that they were paying you NIL.
No, like to come back. And I mean, Coach Hartley told me, you know, like, if you want to come back, you got a spot, you know. But it's come that time for me. I got to figure out how to start making $1 in the real world. So, you know, playing football for free is kind of, I'm getting a little too old for that. And but no, I mean, I grew up a Georgia fan, like a diehard Georgia fan. So there was never. I was obviously, I'm in a different situation than some of these, you know, big name guys, but there was never any like I need NIL or nothing to stay here. I mean, I was always just lucky to be there. Like, you know, I always felt, you know, athletically, I certainly didn't belong, you could say. So it's like I was just grateful to be a part of all of it. And
did you see? I mean, what's your take then on some of the NIL stuff now? Like, we have the conversation, like, does it fracture the locker rooms? Does it cause hurt feelings? I mean, how's that stuff handled?
That was always one. I remember that always being like one of the biggest concerns on social media, being like the locker room's going. And I can't speak for every program, but from what I saw on from the inside of our locker room, like, I mean, there's always teasing and stuff going, like, oh, you're rich now, you're rich. But like, you always saw the guys being happy for the other guys that they had got some deal. Like, say Malachi or somebody gets a deal with Beats, or somebody gets a deal with so-and-so. Like, you never saw any kind of jealousy or like, oh, they should have gave that to me. Like, why are they messing with you? They should be messing with this. You never saw that. You always saw guys just happy for one another that, you know, they got what they were chasing, you know, whether it's money or whatever it is, you know, for the most part, it's like they're genuinely boys. So they're happy to see when someone, like when Carson got the Lamborghini or whatever. I saw that on the last. Well, I seen it when I park every day to go to school, but I saw that on y'all's last episode I was watching before I got here, and I mean, I'm sure the guys rag him and stuff, but like, they're just happy for him to, you know, be in that situation.
What kind of guy is Carson Beck?
He's a good dude. I mean, he's a good dude. He's from Florida, so obviously he's weird.
A little bit different.
Yeah.
Florida guys are different, man.
No, Carson's a good dude, and him and Tate were roommates when we first got to Georgia. So I kind of connected with Carson through that way. Just, you know, first me and Tate were hanging out a lot together. There's nobody, we knew each other. So Carson used to cut my hair, actually.
Really?
Yeah, freshman and sophomore year when we were staying over there in the dorms. It's a free haircut. That joker can cut
Was it
hair
good at
good.
it?
Yeah, he can cut hair and give a good fade.
I remember hearing all the stories
Yeah.
about Carson's barbershop that he go.
Yeah.
He used to cut. I think Brett Thorson cuts his own hair now, and
Yeah.
they're a whole bunch of these
Is
dudes.
he who faded up Stetson when it was Stet Quavius?
Yes, I'm pretty sure.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
I think it was. I
That'd
think
be
he told
kinda
the
funny, though,
story.
wouldn't it?
I think Carson was cutting Stetson's hair, and halfway through the Clippers died. And so Stetson had to go to a barbershop. Yeah, I'm not kidding.
Oh, that's
like
crazy.
Carson, I remember him telling the story because it was on the Real Talk show with Tayton. And he was saying, died literally halfway through. And he was like, he called his mom. He's like, Mom, where's the Clippers charger? She's like, I don't know.
Clue,
So he
yeah.
he ran to Walmart, tried to find it. And then I guess Stetson went and got his hair fixed at a barbershop. But yeah, I think that was the last time that Carson cut Stetson's hair.
I've taken Stetson hunting a few times. We actually, me, him, and his little brother Luke, we went bow fishing a year or two ago in the middle of summer. You go and shoot the carp and stuff with a bow, and at nighttime that was awesome.
Stetson get any?
We didn't have it. I don't think we had that much luck that night. I think we were on I think we were on Sinclair maybe or Hartwell, I want to say, but it had rained previously, like 2 nights before, making the water all murky and stuff. And I can't remember. I think the fish were too deep or something. We didn't have a great day, but we killed a few.
Yeah.
I remember Peyton Bowles killed shot a gar, so that was pretty cool. But it's just fun being out there. Well, I mean, it's literally just like doing it with your buddies.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's amazing. I'm just lucky that I get to share that with them. So,
what do you think Kirby would hunt?
Too busy. I don't think he's.
I let Kirby hunt. He hunts quail.
Yeah,
he
does. It's a
quail
little
hunts
more
down there.
action packed, but I think
You couldn't see Kirby sitting in a deer stand.
He's got to be the busiest man in America. There's no way he has time for that.
Some time in the deer stand might do good for Coach Smart. It's a
little relaxing.
Little relaxing.
Yeah,
There's
turn the phone
nobody
off.
trying to talk to him. I mean, I can't even imagine that dude's text messages and phone and.
So how do you? So here's a question. This is something I never really got to deal with or think through during my time. But like in the locker room, and again, I'm not asking for specific conversations here, but like how do guys handle the portal situation? Because you've had guys there's plenty of guys that leave in the portal. You've had guys like Mims who entered the portal and came back.
Mm-hmm.
And you watch some of the social media stuff, and you can kind of tell from the guys' reaction. I think there's different feelings towards different guys going in the portal. Like, how do you think the portal's affected college football in the locker room from the inside?
From the inside, you might think that it would be kind of like, again, create some division again, but like truly, like it's a lot deeper than football. Those relationships and stuff you have. So if somebody's mentioning they're going to do that or they do that, like again, it's just you just want what's best for them and where they're going to be happy. So it's like if that's what they want to do, that's what they want to do. There's really no resentment or anything like that. Even when you're saying when Mims come back, I mean, he was my locker room mate. I mean, he sat right next to me. And there was no, and I didn't think any different of him. I mean, I look at him beyond the football player too. So it's not really like I'm just like wherever whatever's best for him or where he's happiest at. It definitely didn't create as much division as you think it would from the outside looking in. I don't know, but it is definitely different. Just that being an option. They're like, if you're not happy, you can leave.
I think the portal just makes it such a different thing, and I think Coach Smart does a phenomenal job from what I can tell, just from building a community and a culture where guys want to be a part of it for the most part. You always have guys that want to leave, and the guys won't leave Georgia because it's hard to get playing time at Georgia.
Well, it's just hard. Like the work is just hard. Like I know other specific programs and stuff, but I've talked to other guys that are playing during the same time as us at another school. Like, hey man, what's y'all schedule look like? Or what are y'all's day-to-day stuff look like? And it's nowhere close to it. Like, it's not close to ours. So there's that aspect to it, but there's also like, we are working harder than the majority of people. So it's
you
like
have a national championship ring,
right? Yeah. So it's like. And that's the culture that Coach Smart has built is one of a winning culture. And it's like, do you want to win or do you not want to win? As simple as that. Like, you want to win, stick around.
Yeah. Speaking of national championships, it's not a part of the team anymore, but you've seen this team kind of develop. You've been a part of it for the last several years. A little bit disappointing the way that this past season ended, but you think they're set up for another shot at a national championship this upcoming year.
I mean, it's Georgia, dude. We always got a good chance. Like it's always. I mean, again, I'm biased, so I always feel like it's in our favor. Like the only people that can beat us is us. So, and the team, I think that's another thing that's kind of overlooked is how much the team changes from year to year. Like the team now is a lot different than the team that I was on, and the team last year was a lot different than the team before that. And both of them won national championships. Two totally different teams, different personalities. A lot of people leave. The transfer portal being a thing, a lot of people come in. So it's like your team takes on a new identity every year, and it really is like of course, having a dynasty and having things rolling plays a ginormous part in it. But it really is like, starting with a new team every year and trying to accomplish that same goal every year with, for the most part, a new set of guys.
It is.
Especially when you're at a place like Georgia where there's a lot of year 3 guys that may leave. You know what I mean? Then the transfer portal, you add that in, and then you add early enrollees from high school. It's like the day after the national championship, I vividly remember every year the day after the championship coming back and being like, dang, this team's a lot. Like, there's a lot of new guys.
Dudes are already gone.
Yeah, like dudes are gone, and you're like, who's this guy?
Yeah.
And then a year and a half later, you're best friends with them. So it's kind of unique how that happens. But the team is constantly revolving, and people are coming in and people are going out. But I think that's why Georgia's a special place, because through all that, Coach Smart has been able to, or Coach Smart and everyone in the building and just the culture of it has been able to keep it like, this is to a certain standard. And that's what kind of separates us from other places, I feel like. But yeah, it's definitely something I feel like gets overlooked is how different the team is every year.
Yeah. I mean, you think about the first national championship, right? And I've got the shirt on for the second one right now. I don't know if they can see it. Can I show them the shirt? Did I make it on camera yet?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's one in LA. That's a deal. That's one in LA. Was that good for the camera?
That was good. Good. We'll make that the thumbnail, I think.
Yeah, I appreciate it. It's like when girls always squat down in front of a picture. Like, why are you squatting? That makes sense. But you think about that first one in Indy. That's Stetson Bennett coming out party. You got Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Nakobe Dean. All these guys, and you come back the next year, the defense looks totally different.
I was about to say,
you had Stetson back, but then you come into this year, and to your point, from that national championship 2 years ago to now, there's probably 70 or 80% roster turnover, which is a reason they want guys like you around, by the way, because your culture guys understand how to work, and you show up and you bust your rear end for the program, for the G, and you do it day in and day out because you believe in what's happening. Yeah. So a lot of respect. How many years were you part of the program?
4.
Dude, I cannot tell you how much respect I have for guys like you who end up you don't get the glory on the field that you would have liked to have had. I know that. I've got buddies, some of my best friends are walk-ons there. But the amount of respect for guys that are walk-ons that make it for a season, much less 2, much less 3. Lord, how do you make 4 years? Like, ton of respect, dude, for real.
Yeah, I mean, it's I appreciate that. And it's a lot. I mean, it's a lot of work, and it's a different mindset knowing like X amount of work still's got to be done, but there's not a whole bunch you can do to change the fact that you probably ain't playing. So it's kind of a different mindset going into that work, saying this has got to be done. But what's just what speaks to friendships and how close we really all were. I mean, there was actually, I think there was 3 or 4 walk-ons that stuck and played all 4 years from my class. And funny enough, it's the same 4 guys that we all live together and are all like, we're all in one group chat. Like it's all the same. We're the only ones that
made it,
stuck around. Everyone else, I think, played for a year or maybe 2 years or 3 years, maybe. But that was really one. I mean,
and being on the scout team as a tight end, H-back, fullback,
dude,
who do you look back? I'll be like, all right, so you're out now, right? You've been here 4 years. When you lay down at night now, you think about, man, I'm glad I don't have to hit that guy anymore.
I don't think about it at night anymore, but like,
all right, well, you get my point.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I don't, man, I've been messed up by a lot of those dudes. Like, I mean, Jalen Carter is it's hard to say. Like that might be the last person in the world you would ever want to like get in a fist fight with in the Walmart parking lot or something. Like that would be.
Yeah.
I mean, he'll kill you. Like he he hit me so hard. I mean, they tried to get me to be on scout kickoff return. Or no, I was on scout kickoff and he was on scout kickoff return. He drops back like 8 yards and then gets a 15-yard head start. And I just got to run down there and square him up. Well, there's a story that I tell sometimes that there's another walk-on named Brady Tyndall. And the play before on scout kickoff, he runs down and he hits Jalen and, obviously doesn't do anything to him. But, like, he hit him hard enough to where Jalen's like, okay, we're not doing that.
He woke him up.
Yeah, he's like, okay, we're not doing it. Like, I'm about to kill one of y'all now. So I run back down, and me and Jalen are like, we're close, like we're boys. So
you had him on the next rep.
So yeah, I go the next rep, and I'm going the next rep. I run down, and he just freaking hammers me. I mean, just helmet to helmet, just. And the thing about JC, he's like, he doesn't have to be like running at you and full head of steam and hit you. Like it's so subtle. Like he was just standing there, and then it's just. At the last second, he put about 90% of everything he had, and then just wham, hit me. And I remember laying on the ground and getting up and being like, JC, like, what the heck? Yeah, what was that about? And he's like, oh, dude, I'm sorry. I just seen another little white dude. I thought you was Brady. I said, dang, dude, what was that for? When he's like, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know. He's like, that was him that hit you, not me.
But a lot of pictures of Jalen fishing with you.
Yeah, that's my boy. I mean, love him. Another great dude, great character. Like, just a good dude. And
but he ain't who you want to hit in the Walmart parking lot. See, that's what I'm talking about. You guys, my answer to that, by the way, you don't even know this name. This is how young you are. But mine was Odell Thurman that played with us.
Thurman.
Odell, you don't know
guy.
You don't know Odell, do you? See, do
know
Odell?
No, but you've told me about Odell before.
So Odell played linebacker with us. He was a Mike linebacker from Monticello, Georgia.
Psychopath.
First round pick.
Really?
6'1", 235.
From Monticello.
Yeah. I mean, you didn't hit Odie, and he's my boy. Like, I love Odell Thurman. I knew him from high school. We were boys all together. We went through some times our first couple of years together. But you didn't, when we played, you didn't mess with Odell Thurman, Greg Blue, David Pollock, Thomas Davis.
Oh, yeah.
Like, those guys, Roddy, I don't know if you can find the clip on Twitter. Somebody put it this week of Greg Blue catching a dude over the middle against Vanderbilt. But, I mean, y'all youngsters don't understand what y'all just hear the names of national champions, all this stuff now. Yeah. But anyways, well,
I would say JC. I mean, of course, you got Jordan Davis. I mean, the whole D line, but they don't. I mean, they're like superhumans. They don't even really, They don't. I would say Chaz would probably be a bad one to run across just because he's a little cuckoo.
I've heard he's a fighter. Like he doesn't.
Yeah, like he'll come out of we have this little closet in the weight room that's got just a punching bag in it, and he'll come walking out of the closet with no shirt on, dripping sweat. I don't know if it's before he's about to go work out or after he just got done working out. Yeah, or after he just got done working out. But he'll come out of the closet like he just murdered somebody. And I always make sure to make some smart ass comment to him when he comes walking out. That's with him. But that dude's. Yeah, if he got a hold of you, he'd mess you up. But I mean, Big Mike, Tate. I mean, any of these guys. I mean.
So do you think you'll be able to, now that you're off team? I mean, is there still plans of taking some of these guys fishing? Like, how do you see that being part of what you do going forward?
So going forward, I mean, I'll still be around Athens for the next year or so. So I'll still be super involved in the day-to-day stuff, taking the guys hunting and fishing. There's that clip.
Watch this.
Oh, we go back.
That ain't it. That's a great one too.
It's skipped though.
Yeah, no, it was against Vandy, the one he got that I'm talking about.
Look at G in the middle of the field.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
There's one he catches a dude from Vandy in the air coming across the middle. It's at Vandy. I saw it this week. And because it was like, what's a clip that'll be viral if Twitter was a thing back when we played? It's crazy how long ago I played. Now Twitter wasn't even alive then. But Blue catches a guy in the middle of the field on his shoulder and just power slams him down. That's Tony Taylor right there. I played with some dudes, man. Like,
I mean, you got to be a dude, though. You know what I mean?
You really
like
do.
You got to be. I mean, it's crazy to think about. Like, especially now. Like you go back. Every person on the team, usually, whether playing or not, was the best athlete or the best player where they're from.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's no doubt.
You know what I mean? They're like superstars where they're from, every guy. So it's crazy to think about.
I don't think anybody, by the way, we need to finish on DGD in a minute. But I don't think there's anybody, Georgia fan, people in the comments, you can correct me if I'm wrong here. Has there been anybody that struck fear in the heart of opponents more than Greg Blue since Greg Blue graduated at Georgia? The answer is no. Like helmet contact targeting was not a thing, and he killed people.
What about? I'm trying to think. I've had some bad. You know who would come down and crack was Lewis Seen. He would murder people. I saw him. Do you remember the hit? Look up Lewis Seen hitting.
Hold on, where I've got
Pitts.
he's looking up my stuff right now.
Look up Lewis
He's
Seen
trying
hitting
to find
Kyle
Greg
Pitts,
Blue body slamming a Vanderbilt dude.
I guarantee you that guy's hit isn't as hard as Lou's against Kyle Pitts in Florida. Do you remember that hit?
No, but
it knocked them both out. See if you can pull that up. That was legendary. You don't remember that hit?
I mean,
that was when like Kyle Pitts was like in the. And I'm saying that right, tight end from Florida.
Yeah.
He was that was like when the hype was at an all-time high for him too.
He got rocked.
Lou just, oh my God, I thought they killed each other. I mean, he hit him so hard. I don't think I traveled to that game. I think, matter of fact, I was watching that game like like on TV.
Yeah.
And I remember hitting him and just being like, oh my God, like I hope Lou's okay. And Lou was fine, but I remember Lou hitting him so hard. See if you can find it. Yeah, it'll be like, I'm sure there's 100 different angles of it. And I saw him destroy people in practice. He hit John Fitzpatrick one time. So look at this. Look, knocked him out. Look at Kyle Pitts. He's out cold.
Jeez.
Both of them. Jeez. I'm talking about a freaking hit.
Yeah, bro, you gotta
go. The flags can't look at him. There they go. The flag came out of every referee's pocket before they even hit it. Yeah, he's out. He's unconscious walking around right now. I mean, I think every ref threw their flag before Lou even hit him. They're like, oh, yeah, look. Oh, my God. Yeah, that's bad. Now, I saw him do that to John Fitzpatrick. Not intentionally, of course, but I saw him do that to John Fitzpatrick, either on G-Day or like one of those spring scrimmages before G-Day. And it scared me. That was like one of the first practices I had. And it scared. Like, I remember him hitting, and they had to bring the stretcher out and all that, and they thought John was messed up for real. And, I mean, that was like, he hit him so hard. I mean, it scared everybody.
Good news. We're getting ready to wrap up. John's doing good now.
Yeah, John's doing great. Yeah, John's doing great.
We'll go from a stretch on there.
He's playing for the Falcons, so he's doing great.
So DGD is going on.
Continue. Yep.
There's guys on the team. There's guys still involved, right?
I'll be still super involved. Sorry, I got off track. I'll still be super involved in day-to-day within the next year or so. But what we've done is there's a couple guys like Dan Jackson. He'll be around for another year. He kind of helped me set everything up, so he's super familiar with it, knows all the landowners, all the guys, of course. But I've got some younger guys, Will Snellings and Gunnar Stockton's a part of it. But he'll be super busy being the quarterback. So we got Will Snellings and Walter Blanchard, who are both done a great job, and Will, I think, is maybe a sophomore or freshman, and I know Walter's a freshman too. So they'll be able to kind of take things on for the next 4 to 5 years and then pass that position on to the next guy of just the day-to-day. Because, I mean, that was a huge part of it. Like 2 years from now, 3 years from now, we're talking about how much the team changed and everything. If I come back and try to take one of those guys fishing, they're going to be like,
who are you?
Who's this guy?
Yeah.
He was a walk-on 3 years ago. Like, I don't know this guy. And because, I mean, I see how it is from, like, you see all-stars. Like I used to come back and then some of the guys are like, who is this? And so I kind of got it on the front end, and it's a huge part that Will and Walter and Dan and Gunnar, the guys that are still on the team, will be taking the guys out every day and doing, because that's what it's about at its foundation. Is it's about the bonding and the teammate and it being a part of the team. So it's very important that those day-to-day things will be handled by somebody that's still an active part of the team. And it does so much off the field. Like, that's what I told Will and Walter. I was like, dude, y'all need to be excited about like the relationships you're going to make through this, not even with football. Like, you'll make relationships with your teammates that you didn't think you would have through this. Cause you go fishing with somebody for 3 hours and you sit in the boat, man, you're going to talk about them. Yeah. You're going to talk about them. Yeah.
And how can folks watch it, man? So, we got people that watch it. Like, how can they be involved?
We have YouTube. You can watch some of the stuff on there. Our main, but by far our main, state or platform would be Instagram is our biggest social media. We push everything through there. We have a website, DGDOutdoors.info. You can go on there and learn tons more about what we got going on and who we are and kind of how we set this thing up. But yeah, Instagram is definitely the biggest way to stay involved and kind of check on what we're doing. And we try to post on there as much as possible, but we kind of have
if there's some landowner that have a sweet hunting spot.
Yeah, if you're a landowner out there and you got a nice spot around Athens, you holler at your boy. We'll get out there and but no, for real, it's been awesome just getting to be a part of all that.
Yep.
But
well, that's awesome, man.
Well, before we wrap up here, Cade, you brought up some barbecue beforehand about how you always seeing Russ, all over social media and his barbecue reviews. Russ, where'd you go this week, and what barbecue did you have to eat?
Yeah, we went up this week up in Gainesville, Georgia, to a place called the Inked Pig. I apparently don't.
Oh, I saw that one. I saw that one. The third plate they pulled out that had all the stuff on. Oh, that looked like fire. That had to be good.
So you know lineman, by the way. He may say he moved to be a fullback tight end, but he's a lineman.
I paused the video and zoomed in on the to-go box. I was like, that's
great. It was awesome. The guys up there, those guys are chefs. They were like trained chefs that were working in like corporate Atlanta. Got tired of the bull crap that comes along with that. And it's like, we want to do our own thing. So they're cooking traditional food with stick burning smokers, which I love. Like that's what gets me excited.
How does that? What's a stick burning? Smoker?
You burn wood. You ain't burning no like.
How's any
gas.
other smoker work?
Huh?
How's any other smoker work? It's all
well. There's what?
I thought all smokers are.
That's like saying if you go hunting. I mean, just bring any gun, pistol, BB gun, whatever.
No.
It's the same.
I've never used a smoker that wasn't.
Are you serious?
Off of wood chips, yeah.
Off of wood chips. You just use pellet smokers.
Yeah, I've never used.
All right, we gotta hang out. We gotta hang out. We gotta hang out more. So, no, it has a firebox. Offset smokers. It has a firebox on one end. You build your fire in it.
Yeah.
You put a smokestack on the other end, and it pulls the heat through the smoke chamber.
Is that the ones that you see on the trailers most of the times?
Yeah.
Like, okay, then I've seen one of those. I've seen one.
So that's what it is. Stick burning. They burn wood, real wood products. To smoke with traditional ways of doing it. So that's it right there. Anyways, they cook that and like some really high end sides. It was awesome. So I've only given like 3 or 4 scores in the 9s in Georgia, and that was one of them. They had how about this? Peanut butter banana pudding.
I saw it.
Yeah, really? You watched? Yeah, I'm telling you, bro.
I saw it.
Oh, I did see that. Yeah, I saw
peanut butter banana pudding.
Yeah, the only knock, like one of the chefs is a Bama fan. But he's a veteran, so I can't talk bad about him. So respect for that. Yeah,
evens it back out.
So, but yeah, it was awesome. I love going up there. So, it's fun, man. I mean, it's a lot of the same stuff. I like barbecue for a lot of the same reasons that you like the hunting stuff, man. Like you have to find a way to try to connect with people, right?
That's right. Yeah,
at the end of the day, like everybody has a place they can connect and build a relationship, build a conversation, and get past just thinking, I don't know, I don't like this person. Look at that person. We're never going to talk. Once you find common ground with people, it opens up so many doors that make life better, that enriches your life, your conversation, your relationships. And that's what barbecue has done for me. I just get to meet a lot of cool people, and I get to eat a lot of food. You get to meet a lot of cool people, and you get to do something you're passionate about. Yeah. You get to go fishing and hunting. So,
yeah, I've made some of the best relationships through that. I mean, by far, I've made a lot of relationships through that with my teammates that I probably would not have made, if we were just teammates and we just clocked out and went home every day separately. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just, again, I can't stress how grateful I am to just have been a part of all that and get to share something I'm so passionate about with those guys. Cause and
I know you, by the way, you said that NIL doesn't affect you, but if you did 10 years ago, you couldn't have done what you've done.
That's right. Yeah.
You couldn't start a DGD Outdoors, a for-profit business.
Yeah.
Supporting other UJ athletes as well, whether it be getting on a platform to talk about, build their brand, whatever. So, you're a direct beneficiary, man, in a great way of the NIL rules. So,
I'm excited to see where they go now. Yeah. So it's definitely going to be different.
Absolutely. Well,
give them the website?
DGDOutdoors.info. Yes, please go in there and support. We have all kinds of different merch, sweatshirt, hoodies, shorts. I mean, you name it. Everything's on there.
The Ladd McConkey.
The Ladd McConkey windbreaker.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of stuff on there. So
Yeah.
yeah, just check it out and stay in touch with us. And we appreciate all the support that y'all give us, and realize nothing would be possible without it. So
There you go.
Well, thank you guys for tuning in to Dawgs and Hawgs. Cade, thanks so much for being on.
thank you guys.
Really appreciate it. Tune in every single week to Dawgs and Hawgs, 8 p.m. every single Wednesday. Thanks for tuning in. Cade, once again, thanks for being on. And Russ, as always,
Go Dogs.
Go